Ashley, what's our final email today?
Last one is from Hannah. Hi. News just came out that Marvel's Shang-Chi movie has found its director in Dustin Daniel Cretton. I love Short Term 12 just like everyone else, but nothing else of his after that. What are your thoughts on this pairing?
I love it. And one of the main reasons that I love it so much is because of who he is. And because of who he is, Short Term 12. Short Term 12 is a fantastic film that a lot of cinephiles have talked about for years since it came out. I can't remember if it came out 2012, 2013, one of those 2 years. Who, by the way, the film starred two future Academy Award winners in Brie Larson, also connected to the MCU, obviously, and Rami Malek from Bohemian Rhapsody, and Lakeith Steinfeld was in it as well. And I love him from Atlanta, and he's been great in just about everything he's done. And then he did another film that I quite like, not as much as Short Term 12, but he did another film I enjoy quite a bit called The Glass Castle that also starred Brie Larson and Woody Harrelson, and that one was a really nice thing too. This is a dude who knows how to direct really great narrative and characters. And if you watch those two films, he is a director who knows how to get great performances out of his actors. Those are the two most important things for any director. So you bring a guy like that into the MCU and it's fabulous. And listen, it's probably a pretty wise decision. Rob, look, did Marvel have to get an Asian director to direct a Shang-Chi movie? Well, maybe they didn't have to, but it's a pretty good idea. When it's your first time out of the gate, this is going to be your first film in your franchise that has an Asian lead, and it's going to have majority, from what we're hearing in reports, it's going to have a majority of Asian characters. It's probably not a bad idea to have the first one you do out of the gate with an Asian director who's got a better sense of the sensibilities of the characters they're going to be dealing with, much like it was a really good idea for their first time out of the gate doing an African American lead character, going out and getting a director, a great director, like Ryan Coogler. And by the way, keep this in mind. They didn't just reach into some Walmart bargain bin and pull out any Asian-born director. They pulled out the director of Short Term 12 in Glass Castle. This guy knows how to direct. I think it's a great choice. I think it's a great move. Rob, how do you feel about it?
Well, I think it's, first of all, it's an incredible, it continues a streak. Kevin Feige is doing something. There's so many things that the Marvel Cinematic Universe is doing that's unprecedented. But Marvel Studios has a track record now of plucking indie directors that do not have a track record making franchise properties for studios. They go and they pick these indie directors who, in the best possible way, they want to prove themselves. They want to step up to the next level. But they've already shown that what do all of these, whether it's James Gunn, the Russo brothers, remember they had an indie
Nobody
feature.
knew who they were. Nobody knew.
But they had an indie
Peyton
feature under
Reed.
their belt.
Peyton Reed with Ant-Man.
The reason that these movies, the reason the Marvel Cinematic Universe works so well is character, character, character. We love these people. And the way that they're directed, they pick the great actors. They've picked these James Gunn, these indie sensibilities that what they want to do first and foremost is they're practicing my rule, never put your universe before your characters. And they find the best indie directors, indie sensibility. They people all want to prove themselves. They're doing what Kevin Feige is doing what any great leader does. You pick those people that you see they have innate raw talent, and you give those people an opportunity to flourish with a support system that will catch them if they happen to fall, which they don't. Everyone is stepping up to the plate, and what they're doing is fantastic. And look, you have to hire if you're having a cast of people. I love Shang-Chi. I love the Doug Mensch run of the comic. You can get them collected in Marvel Omnibus form. They're a lot of fun. You know, they're James Bond meets martial arts, kind of, with a little bit of superhero stuff sprinkled in later. But I love this idea. I hope he teams up with Natasha Romanoff, with Black Widow. I think you have to have people of whatever your ethnicity of your lead is. It's better to have directors that have some insight into that, because that's what gives the flavor. You know, it's the little things that make people from our various cultures. It's the way people move, the way people talk, the way people relate to their parents, and having that kind of insight helps you bring those subtle character traits out that just make the movies better. And if they hired some, white dude with an action track record, you would get something that's going to be more generic. I think this just continues a streak. I mean, Marvel, no one is ever going to give credit where credit is due, but Marvel and what they're doing has never been done in Hollywood, and they just keep knocking it out of the park.
Yeah, and look, and I believe that, look, as Marvel makes more MCU films with black lead characters, and as they make more female-led films, and as they make more Asian-led films, you'll get to a point, no, that you don't need to have a black director direct the 7th black lead film that you have, or an Asian director to direct the 7th Asian film you have. I just think it's a good thing coming out of the gate. It seems like to be a very smart strategic thing to do if you want to capture the essence of that, to start out of the gate with that and set the track down. Because I was in a little bit of a debate with somebody about 20 minutes before we started the show today online. It's like, well, why do they have to go out and get an Asian director to do this? I'm like, that's funny. I didn't hear you saying, why did they have to get a white director to do Ant-Man when they got Peyton Reed? I didn't hear anybody saying that, so why are we saying that here? But at any rate, I don't think this means that Captain Marvel 3 has to have a female director, or that Black Panther 4 has to have a black director, or anything, or that Iron Man 17 has to have a white male lead director.
Well,
no, not at all. I just think this seems smart for their first time out of the gate.
But I also think that, you know what's going to happen? It's because they have Asian directors that we're going to get a whole new crop of Asian kids, boys and girls, that think, I can be a film director. I can grow up and direct a franchise property film like this. I mean, the more women directors, the more black directors, the more Asian directors we get in Hollywood making things, it only means we're going to get more perspective, more vibrance, different opinions, and better movies in the long run. The more people that we get into work, the better off we are. And this idea that there's something wrong with this is just so backwards and wrong-headed. You can never do... Look, my favorite director, Stanley Kubrick, used to ask, he'd send his assistant around every morning and ask every one of his lead crew members, what ideas do you have today? He'd want to hear everyone's ideas to make sure that they were going to make the best the best they could that day. And the more opinions we have in the conversation, the more people making movies, the more different various people that we have, we're just going to get better film and better entertainment. We win in the end.
Everybody wins.